Good morning and welcome to the most romantic city in the world. We are in Paris and I'm currently in the area of l'Opéra, which is of course where the Palais Le Garnier is based, and that was commissioned by Napoleon, and it was really where all the great operas were, the main opera house in Paris. And in fact, it is also where the Phantom was played, the Phantom of the Opera. Okay, so we've just stopped at Café de la Comédie for another coffee, and we are literally sitting opposite Théâtre de Comédie. Théâtre non? Théâtre Française.
Théâtre de la Comédie Française.
Théâtre de la Comédie Française. And it is an impressive building, beautiful to look at. It's not quite open yet, so we're just going to sit here, have a coffee, and do a little waiting. Okay, so since we're in Paris, I thought why not do a couple of outfit changes, and this particular outfit is very relevant to me in Paris. I actually purchased it in Paris. It's from Louis Vuitton. As you can see, it's got these really gorgeous ties either side, lovely shape, and there's this really lovely oversized zip detail. I've paired it with just a simple white shirt and some Valentino pumps. We are now at a former French palace, which is Le Palais Royal, which serves as the seat of the Ministry of Culture. And there are also some incredible public gardens here, which all of France and Paris can enjoy. And what a magnificent monument this is. You know, what I really love about Paris is, nearly every other street you'll walk onto something like this. There are 2,000 monuments in Paris and 200 museums within 20 arrondissements. And to be honest with you, it is almost impossible not to walk across something so spectacular as this. And for me, I just, think there is so much depth in nearly every other street that, you are just filled with this rich history and, this rich passion for architecture and design, which of course for me is perfection. Welcome to Le Meurice, which was opened in 1835. It was Paris's first palace, and it was intended to welcome guests from Britain. Let's go in. This is the most majestic room in the Le Meurice Hotel. It was inspired by Salon de la Paix in Chateau Versailles, and as you can see, it is something quite phenomenal. And just being here and being able to have breakfast is one of the most splendid things you're able to do in Paris. So of course, Paris is not just about the hot chocolate and the croissant, but if you get the opportunity to do it in this room, then it is magnificent. Welcome to Rue de Rivoli, which is one of Paris's main streets, and in fact it was one of Napoleon's early attempts to create some kind of urban planning, almost like today's modern town planning. Now, what he wanted to do was, sort of bridge the gap between the aristocracy and, the townspeople, and so, this was this brilliant street to do that. It is really an incredible street even today. Obviously, it houses some of the most amazing hotels like Le Meurice that we've just been inside, but also there are some incredible shops, and it's really one of these very, very big, large streets, long streets that links much of what's going on in Paris, and of course, the infamous Louvre. For me as an interior designer, what I love so much about Paris is just the architecture and the way it all flows together, the massive lanterns that we see everywhere, the detail on the floor. I mean, there are mosaics everywhere. And, just this really, you know, beautiful, soft stone that you see really throughout Paris. And I think, you know, it's so symbolic of what Paris is. You know, there's history to it, there's warmth, there's depth. You know, there is some kind of feeling of historical, rich blend against the very modern. And you know, Paris is just full of visual art. It doesn't really matter where you go. It could be a street, it could be a shop, a museum. There's just so much to look at. So for me, you know, it is food for my eyes. Okay, so for those of you looking for your hot chocolate and croissant in Paris and want a relatively cliche place, Angelina is it. It's not my favorite place to go, I have to say, but my children love it, so we are popping in to buy them some ready-made hot chocolate and we're taking it back home to London. Let's go. Okay, so this is the famous hot chocolate that my children love. Now, for those of you who count calories, this is not going to be for you, but I don't blame them. It's super thick. You know, for many people, this is the be-all and end-all hot chocolate. I'm going to be taking 2. And 2 of these wafers in their boîte, in the blue boxes for my kids. Okay, so we are outside Galignani, and this is an incredible bookshop, really a library, and this is where Yves Saint Laurent used to come and buy his coffee table books. So it has so much beautiful interest and heritage and culture to it. So let's go in and take a look. Such a special collection of books in this place. I've never seen such incredible coffee table books all together, and some really interesting ones too. I've just found a book by Iris van Herpen. Now, she is one of my favorite fashion designers, and what I really love about her is that she sort of crosses that line between fashion and interiors. To me, her fashion, you know, looks so sculptural. It could be items in a home or part of the interior architecture. So I'm absolutely in love with her, and I'm really glad I found this. Right, we are now in a car on our way to Hermès and Louis Vuitton, because of course you can't come to Paris without doing some shopping. And my dear friend here has been telling me a little bit of history about, come on Paolo.
The beauty of Paris. You should all come, we're here for you. Splash some cash.
No, but tell us about the history of the area. A little bit of Hermès, a little bit of LV.
Well, Hermès is an amazing house, the house of France. It started with horses, so everything is horse related. The leather is great.
Very equestrian.
Very equestrian, and we're gonna go and shop there now. Right now?
I am not the history of Hermès. I wish I was. Okay, so I love this blazer. It is such a gorgeous piece, but I think probably I'd like something a little bit more classic as an everyday kind of black blazer, so it's probably not going to be for me, but I do really love this look. Okay, so this is my favorite look so far. There's LV written everywhere, but I have to say, I love the leather detailing. I love that mix of material. I love how fun it is, how cool. This is going to be a keeper. Okay, so this is my 3rd outfit for the day in Paris, and I know it's naughty, but I couldn't help myself. We went into LV, Louis Vuitton, and we got this gorgeous, very me outfit. And now I feel hungry. We're gonna go and see if we can get another hot chocolate at the Ritz, because why not? And then we'll pop into Le Crillon for lunch, which I'm gonna tell you a little bit about. It's one of my favorite hotels and full of rich history, so I love it. Architecturally, it's incredible. The best thing about Paris is the big strolls. We are now at the very famous Place Vendôme in Paris. What a square this is. It is magnificent. And you know, we are very lucky today because the sun is shining down on Place Vendôme and on us. So I'm very excited to be here. Let's go off to the Ritz. Behind me is Hotel Le Crillon, and it was actually built in 1758 as originally a palace. It then has some really impactful historical significance. It served as a military hospital in World War I, and it hosted significant German officers in World War II. An interesting fact was that in 1778, the Treaty of Alliance was signed between the USA and France, and actually it was an alliance to fight against British rule. So of course, for me as someone who lives in Britain, quite significant. Most interestingly for me as a designer, recently Karl Lagerfeld, before he passed, designed les grands appartements, which are really the most luxurious apartments in all of Le Crillon. And it just has such rich history, architectural significance, and really monumental significance that it is definitely one of my favorites. Let's go have lunch. After lots of exciting sightseeing and a very long day and some fun shopping in between all, we are now back at Le Meurice, enjoying our room and some glorious chocolates, some that we got from Angelina. And actually, I have come back to a little surprise from Le Meurice, which I'm going to open for you. We sadly didn't get a chance to go to the Picasso Museum on this trip, but we will go next time. So in the meantime, I'm going to open up this box with you and then have a little rest and be on my way back on the Eurostar, back home. Such a beautiful candle. I will delight in taking that home. And there was an incredible aroma that just lifted as I opened the box. What a beautiful, pleasant surprise. Thank you, Le Meurice.